Hello, this is Frank, and we're now moving on to the Michigan CDL tanker practice test. This test is designed for commercial drivers who need to obtain their tanker endorsement to legally operate tank vehicles in Michigan. We'll be covering essential topics like liquid surge, proper handling techniques, safety procedures, and the unique challenges of driving vehicles with high centers of gravity. Let's get straight into the questions. What is the main reason liquid surge increases stopping distance in tank vehicles? The moving liquid pushes against the vehicle after braking begins. This happens because the liquid continues moving forward even after you've applied the brakes, creating a powerful force that fights against your stopping efforts. This surge effect can significantly extend your stopping distance, which is why tanker drivers need to maintain extra following distance. Moving on, what is the purpose of outage in a liquid cargo tank? To allow liquid to expand with temperature changes. Liquids expand when they heat up, and without proper outage space at the top of the tank, this expansion could cause dangerous pressure buildup or even tank rupture. That's why you never fill a tank completely to the top. Next question. A tank with baffles helps the driver by reducing forward and backward liquid movement. Baffles are internal walls with holes that slow down the liquid's movement from front to back, making the vehicle much easier to control during starts and stops. However, remember that baffles don't prevent side-to-side movement. Let's continue. A smooth bore tank is most likely to produce strong surge in starts and stops. Without any baffles or compartments to slow the liquid down, smooth bore tanks allow the entire load to move freely, creating the most severe surge conditions. These tanks require extra careful driving techniques. Time for the next question. The best way to stop a tanker on dry pavement is to brake early and smoothly with steady pedal pressure. This technique minimizes surge by allowing the liquid to gradually slow down with the vehicle. Sudden or jerky brake applications will cause the liquid to slam forward, making the vehicle harder to control. Next up, when starting from a stop in a tanker, you should accelerate gently to avoid surge. Just as with braking, smooth acceleration prevents the liquid from slamming to the back of the tank. This backward surge can actually reduce traction on your drive wheels and make it harder to get moving. Let's see what's next. Tank vehicles have a high center of gravity, which increases the risk of rollover on ramps and curves. The liquid load sits high above the road, making the vehicle top-heavy and unstable during turns. This is why tanker drivers must take curves and ramps much slower than other commercial vehicles. Here's another one. The safest way to handle a curve in a tanker is to slow to a safe speed before the curve and accelerate slightly through it. This technique keeps the liquid settled and maintains vehicle stability. Braking in a curve with a tanker is extremely dangerous and can cause rollover. Continuing on. If you must make an emergency stop in a tanker, you should brake in a straight line and keep the vehicle as straight as possible. Any steering input during hard braking can cause the liquid to shift sideways, potentially causing a rollover. Focus on stopping straight, even if it means not avoiding an obstacle. Moving on. Before loading a cargo tank, you should inspect manhole covers, gaskets, and valves for proper seating. A leak in any of these components could result in product loss, environmental damage, or even fire if you're hauling flammable materials. Never move a vehicle with improperly sealed openings. Next question. When planning a downgrade in a tanker, you should select a lower gear before the grade and keep speed controlled. This allows your engine brake to help control speed without overusing your service brakes. Trying to shift gears on a steep grade with a surging load is extremely dangerous. Let's continue. More outage is required when the liquid will be loaded warm or will warm during transit. Heat causes expansion, so if you're loading a warm product or know it will heat up during transport, you need extra expansion space. This prevents dangerous overpressure situations. Time for the next question. A partial load in a tanker is dangerous because it allows free surface movement that can cause rollover. With room to move, the liquid can build up momentum and shift violently, especially in smooth bore tanks. A partially filled tank is often more dangerous than a full one. Next up, compartmented tanks help by distributing weight and limiting surge between sections. Each compartment acts as its own smaller tank, preventing the entire load from shifting at once. This design significantly improves vehicle stability and handling. Let's see what's next. Bulkheads and baffles differ because baffles have openings that let liquid move slowly between sections. While bulkheads completely separate compartments, baffles only slow down liquid movement. This distinction is important for understanding how your specific tank will handle. Here's another one. Front-to-back surge can push the vehicle into an intersection after you stop. Even after your wheels have stopped, the liquid continues moving forward and can actually push your stopped vehicle forward several feet. This is why you need to stop well before intersections and crosswalks. Continuing on, when parking a tanker on a grade, you should set the parking brake and chock the wheels. The weight and potential movement of liquid cargo makes proper securing absolutely critical. Never rely on just the parking brake alone when parked on any incline. Moving on. On entrance and exit ramps, a safe practice for tankers is to drive well below the posted advisory speed. Those yellow advisory signs are meant for cars, not high center of gravity vehicles carrying shifting liquid loads. Take ramps significantly slower than the posted speed. Next question. To haul placardable hazardous materials in a tank, you must have an X endorsement on your CDL. The X endorsement combines both the tanker, N, and hazmat, H, endorsements. You need both skill sets to safely transport hazardous materials in bulk. Let's continue. On wet or icy roads, drivers of tankers should turn off the engine retarder to help maintain traction. Engine retarders can cause drive wheel lockup on slippery surfaces, which is especially dangerous with a high center of gravity load. Save the retarder for dry conditions only. Time for the next question. When loading flammable liquids, you should bond and ground the equipment to prevent static discharge. Static electricity can ignite flammable vapors, causing fire or explosion. Proper grounding and bonding eliminates this risk by providing a safe path for electrical charges. Next up, many food-grade tankers are unbaffled because interior surfaces must be smooth for sanitation and cleaning. Baffles would create corners and crevices where bacteria could grow. This means food-grade tanker drivers must be especially skilled at handling surge. Let's see what's next. If you discover any product leakage during a pre-trip, you should not move the vehicle until the leak is repaired. Any leak, no matter how small, can worsen during transport and create serious safety and environmental hazards. Fix it before you move. Here's another one. Side-to-side liquid movement is most likely to cause rollover when steering or cornering. Lateral surge is the most dangerous type because it directly affects vehicle stability during turns. Even a gentle steering input can start a dangerous sideways slosh. Continuing on, tank vehicle drivers should maintain extra space ahead, mainly to allow for longer stopping distance due to surge. That forward-moving liquid will fight your braking efforts, so you need much more room to stop safely. Always maintain a generous following distance. Moving on, which fire extinguisher class is intended for liquid fuel fires? Class B extinguishers are specifically designed for flammable liquid fires, making them essential equipment when hauling petroleum products or other flammable liquids. Next question. During loading, you should remain in constant attendance and near the controls. You need to be ready to shut off the flow immediately if something goes wrong. Never leave a loading operation unattended, even for a moment. Let's continue. Before unloading through a hose, you should first set the parking brake and chock wheels. The vehicle must be completely secure before you begin pumping product. Any vehicle movement during unloading could damage equipment or cause a spill. Time for the next question. When switching products in the same tank, you must verify compatibility with the previous product. Some chemicals react dangerously when mixed, and even food products can be contaminated by incompatible residues. Always check compatibility charts before loading. Next up, which is true about surge management when downshifting? Downshift early while straight and before braking hard. Trying to shift gears while the liquid is surging or while turning is extremely difficult and dangerous. Get your gear changes done early while the vehicle is stable. Let's see what's next. After loading and before departure, you should recheck closures and valves for tight seal. The loading process can sometimes loosen fittings, and the weight of the product can reveal seal problems. A final check prevents leaks during transport. Here's another one. During a right turn with a tanker, you should take the turn slowly and smoothly to limit side surge. Smooth, gradual steering inputs keep the liquid from building dangerous momentum. Sharp turns at any speed can trigger violent lateral surge. Continuing on, if a tank is equipped with a vapor recovery system, you should connect and use it when the facility requires it. These systems capture harmful vapors that would otherwise escape into the atmosphere. Using them properly is both a safety and environmental requirement. Moving on, smooth steering is important in tankers because abrupt steering can trigger side surge and rollover. Every steering input starts liquid movement, and jerky motions can quickly build into dangerous oscillations. Keep all steering inputs smooth and gradual. Next question. When selecting a route with a loaded tanker, it is safest to avoid sudden stops, sharp curves, and steep grades when possible. Route planning is part of safe tanker operation. Choose highways over city streets and avoid known problem areas when you can. Let's continue. If a manhole cover or dome clamp is not secure, you should not move the vehicle until it is properly secured. An unsecured opening can pop open during transport, spilling product and creating immediate danger. Never compromise on closure security. Time for the next question. Which loading pattern helps stability in a multi-compartment tank? Balance weight across axles and keep levels similar. Uneven loading can make the vehicle unstable and hard to control, especially during turns and emergency maneuvers. Next up, when descending a long grade with a tanker, you should avoid riding the brakes continuously, which can cause fade. Use proper gear selection and controlled braking techniques to maintain safe speed. Brake fade on a grade with a heavy tanker is extremely dangerous. Let's see what's next. Before entering a roundabout with a tanker, you should slow well in advance and watch for off-tracking. The continuous turning in a roundabout can build up lateral surge, and your trailer will track inside your tractor's path. Plan ahead and take it slow. Here's another one. Compared to a box trailer, a tanker on a windy day is more prone to rollover due to high center of gravity. Wind pushes against that high-sitting liquid load, creating a tipping force. Reduce speed significantly in windy conditions. Continuing on, when using a power takeoff to pump product, you must set parking brake and confirm neutral before engaging. Engaging a PTO while in gear can damage equipment and create dangerous situations. Always follow proper PTO procedures exactly. Moving on, surge is most severe when the tank is partially filled in a smooth bore trailer. This combination gives the liquid maximum room to move with nothing to slow it down. These are the most challenging conditions for any tanker driver. Next question. What should you do if the posted curve speed seems too high for your tanker? Choose a lower safe speed based on load and conditions. You're responsible for your vehicle's safety regardless of posted speeds. When in doubt, slow down more. Let's continue. During pre-trip on a tank vehicle, you must check emergency shutoff devices for proper location and condition. These devices let you quickly stop product flow in an emergency. They must be accessible and working properly before every trip. Time for the next question. When approaching a railroad crossing with a placarded tanker, you must be prepared to stop and follow all state and federal requirements. Many hazmat loads require a complete stop at all railroad crossings. Know your requirements and follow them exactly. Next up, a vacuum relief valve on some tanks is used to protect the tank from collapse during unloading. As product is pumped out, air must enter to replace it. Without proper venting, the vacuum created can actually crush the tank. Let's see what's next. What is a safe practice when coupling a tractor to a loaded tanker? Back gently and test the connection with a tug before raising landing gear. The weight of a loaded tanker makes proper coupling critical. Always verify a secure connection before proceeding. Here's another one. What should you do before opening a top hatch on a tank that has been loaded? Verify there is no internal pressure and wear appropriate PPE. Pressurized product can spray out when you open the hatch, causing injury. Always approach hatches with caution and proper protection. Continuing on, when unloading on a public roadway, the safest step is to set up warning devices and control the area as permitted. Other traffic needs advance warning of your stopped vehicle and operation. Proper traffic control prevents accidents during roadside delivery. Moving on, the most important skill for a tanker driver to reduce rollover risk is controlling speed and making smooth steering and braking inputs. Speed management and smooth control inputs are your primary defenses against rollover. Master these skills and you'll handle any tanker safely.